He didn't just kill people, he chose them. He dug through their worst memories, their deepest guilt, their darkest secrets, and he used all of it to destroy them from the inside out. Vecna is, without question, the most terrifying villain in Stranger Things history, and by the time the show was over, his kill count was absolutely staggering. Today we're going through every single person Vecna killed. From his very first victim as a child, all the way to the final battle in Season 5. Stay until the end, because the last few are ones most people completely forgot about. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you're a Stranger Things fan, you already know Vecna isn't just some monster. He's Henry Creel, a real person with a real backstory, who made a choice to become the most dangerous being in the UpsideDown. And that's what makes his kills so different from anything else in this show. The Demogorgon killed because it was hungry, the Mind Flayer killed because it wanted control. But Vecna? Vecna killed because he wanted to. He enjoyed it. He believed he was doing the world a favor. So let's go through every person he took out, in order, and talk about why each one matters. We've gone through all 5 seasons, the official Stranger Things wiki, and confirmed every death against what was actually shown on screen. This list covers the complete run of the show, including Season 5, so if you haven't finished, consider this your spoiler warning. Alright, let's get into it. He was just a kid, and he was already a monster. Most people think Vecna's story starts in the UpsideDown. It doesn't. It starts in a small house in Hawkins, Indiana, in 1959, when Henry Creel was just a boy. Henry had powers, telekinesis, the ability to get inside people's minds. And instead of hiding them or being afraid of them, he leaned in. He started small, killing animals, the family cat, rabbits, dogs, squirrels. He was practicing. His parents didn't know what was happening. His dad, Victor, thought the house was haunted. His mom, Virginia, was terrified. And his little sister Alice was just caught in the middle of all of it. Then one night, Henry decided he was done pretending to be normal. He used his powers to kill his mother, Virginia, and his sister Alice, breaking their bones and gouging out their eyes. The same brutal method he'd use for the rest of his life. His father, Victor, survived, but was so traumatized that he was blamed for the murders and thrown in a psychiatric ward. He spent decades in there, alone, for something he didn't do. And Henry, he was taken in by Dr. Brenner, the man who ran Hawkins Lab, who saw his powers and wanted to study them. But here's the part people forget. Before Henry went to the lab, he also killed at least one scientist who discovered what he was. A man who figured out the truth about the Creel murders. Henry killed him too, crushing his skull with a rock. So by the time Henry Creel walks into Hawkins Lab as a child, he already has at least 4 human deaths on his hands, plus a trail of dead animals behind him. That's who Vecna was before he ever saw the UpsideDown. He wiped out an entire building in one night. Fast forward to 1979. Henry is now an adult. He's been living in Hawkins Lab for years under Brenner's control. Given the name 1 and kept suppressed with a chip implanted in his neck, he tricks 11, who is just a little girl at this point, into removing the chip for him. And the second it's out, he snaps. In one single night, Henry Creel kills nearly every person in that lab. We're talking about trained orderlies, security guards, scientists, doctors. At least a dozen people, possibly more. He goes through them one by one, bones breaking, eyes going dark, leaving a trail of bodies through every hallway. The specific victims we know by name include 6, another test subject, killed before the main massacre, Dr. Ellis, a lab doctor, killed that same night. 10, another numbered child. Henry threw a door at him with his mind. 2 unnamed security guards, killed trying to stop him. And there were others, many others. The exact count has never been confirmed, but what we know is that 11 was the only one who survived, and only because she fought back and blasted Henry through a gate into the UpsideDown. That's what turned him into Vecna. That fall, that dimension, that transformation. But the blood was already on his hands long before the rot and the vines. He didn't just kill them. He made them suffer first. This is the part most Stranger Things fans know best. And for good reason. These are the kills that defined Vecna's method. The ones that showed exactly how calculated he was. By Season 4, Vecna had a strategy. He wasn't just attacking random people. He was hunting teenagers with trauma. People carrying guilt, grief, and pain they hadn't healed from. He'd slip into their minds, show them their worst memories, and use their fear as a door. Chrissy Cunningham was first. On the outside, Chrissy looked like she had it all. Cheerleader, popular, dating the star athlete. But at home, her mother was relentlessly cruel to her, criticizing her weight, making her feel worthless. Chrissy had been suffering in silence for years. Vecna found that. He got inside her head, showed her visions of her worst moments, and killed her in Eddie Munson's trailer. Her limbs snapped. Her eyes went white, and a gate opened in the ceiling above her. Eddie watched it happen and couldn't do anything. Fred Benson was next. Fred was a journalist at the school paper. The year before, he'd been in a car accident, one that killed someone. He'd never gotten over the guilt of being the driver. Vecna locked onto that guilt like a heat-seeking missile. Fred was killed near the trailer park. Another gate opened. Patrick McKinney, Lucas's basketball teammate, was third. Patrick had a troubled home life, and Vecna used it. He was killed out on Lover's Lake, levitated into the air, and dropped. A massive gate opened beneath the water. And then there was Max. Max was Vecna's fourth target, and his most personal. She'd been struggling with depression and survivor's guilt after the death of her stepbrother Billy. Vecna had been inside her head for a while before he went in for the kill. And he almost won. Vecna actually did kill Max in the season 4 finale. She died, briefly, before 11 used her powers to bring her back. But here's the thing, even those few seconds of death were enough. A fourth gate opened, and that gate, combined with the other 3, cracked Hawkins wide open, killing at least 22 more unnamed people when the ground tore apart. Max survived, but she was left in a coma, blind, barely alive. Vecna turned 4 murders into a disaster that destroyed an entire town. His kill count goes way higher than most people realize. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting, because a lot of people only count Vecna's most famous kills, but his full body count is much higher when you look at everything. Let's talk about the people who get overlooked. Death row inmates. While being held at a prison in Russia, Henry Creel, in his Vecna form, killed at least 1 death row prisoner. No trial, no mercy, just a demonstration of power. Sergeant Luis Ramirez, a military soldier in season 5. Vecna stabbed him through the back of the head using his own vine-like fingers. Fast, brutal, and completely unprovoked. The soldiers in season 5. When Vecna's plans were in full swing in the final season, the carnage expanded. Dozens of military personnel, Hawkins residents, and people caught in the crossfire were killed as a direct result of Vecna's actions, opening gates, unleashing Demogorgons, and collapsing the boundary between worlds. And let's not forget, Vecna is the reason the gates exist at all. Every Demogorgon that ever killed anyone in Hawkins, that's ultimately traceable back to him. When you add it all up, confirmed direct kills plus the chaos he engineered. Vecna is responsible for well over 100 deaths across the entire run of the show. Even at the end, he almost won. By season 5, Vecna was done playing games. He wasn't just killing individuals anymore, he was kidnapping children and using Demogorgons to do it, building an army and preparing to merge the UpsideDown with the real world permanently. His plan was terrifyingly close to working. He pulled Holly Wheeler into his mind. He kidnapped 12 Hawkins kids and used them as vessels. He got inside Hopper's head. He nearly killed 11 multiple times. But in the end, the whole gang came together for one last fight. 11 and Will teamed up inside the hive mind to take Vecna down psychically. Will, who had spent years being tormented by the UpsideDown, used his connection to the hive mind to restrain Vecna and even tear off his hand, giving 11 the opening she needed to impale him on a spike. But even then, he wasn't dead. Joyce Byers, the same woman who spent years fighting to keep her son safe, delivered the final blow. She picked up an axe and cut off Vecna's head. Henry Creel, one Vecna, was gone, and the UpsideDown collapsed with him. The show ended not long after. Hawkins was scarred, people were gone, but the nightmare was finally over. And that's the full list. Every kill, every victim, every moment of chaos that Vecna left behind from childhood all the way to his final moments. If you've made it this far, drop a comment below. Who do you think was Vecna's most disturbing kill, and why? My vote, Chrissy, because she had no idea what was coming, and Eddie had to watch the whole thing and couldn't save her. That one hit different. If you want more deep dives like this, full breakdowns, ranked lists, hidden details from Stranger Things, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.